Yo, what's going on, y'all? So, real quick before we get to the issues to why the car wasn't starting, I just want to go over that idle air control valve issue real quick. That was solved by getting a whole new idle air control assembly. I ordered it from Monkey Wrench Racing, so shout out to them. But the thing was, I think in that old assembly, most likely the throttle position sensor was bad, because we cleaned out the throttle body, and then with the new idle air control valve attached, the idle was even higher, which leads me to believe that it had to be the throttle position sensor. But yeah, so I put that whole new assembly in there. I'm gonna take the idle air control valve that I put on the old throttle body off and keep it as a spare, and we'll go from there. Rebled the coolant and everything. The car is idling perfect, and yeah, let's get into this starter problem. Alright, y'all, part 2. Gotta get this done quick, try and get it done before we're open, because we're limited on days right now. But the starter sits down here. Let's see if I turn the light on. It's a bit hard to see, but this part right here on the bottom, right below the manifold, that's the starter. There's 2 bolts. It's gonna sit down there, and there's one on the bottom. 14 millimeters. I'll show you when I get the car in the air. Make sure you disconnect the battery. So in this case, we're going to disconnect it so we don't explode. Yeah. Okay, so I thought maybe I could go through there if I got the hose out of the way, but it doesn't look like there's a lot of space. It's the starter sits down there right above the oil filter. Right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lift it, and I'm going to show you where that 14 millimeter is. Okay, so there it is, the good old factory starter. So you can see right here, you got a bolt that needs to come out. You got to undo your plugs here, and then there's that same bolt, but it's on top. This bolt right here kind of hides under this plastic cap. Make sure you don't forget to unplug or unbolt that one, take it out. Alright, I've got the bottom bolts out. It's actually a lot cleaner than I was suspecting. You want to save this washer. More than likely the new starter didn't come with the new bolts, so we're going to reuse this, maybe grease it up a little bit on the thread. But 14 millimeter to get that bolt out. Where are you? There you are, right there. So now we're going to tackle the one from the top. Also, this plug, it was a 12 millimeter. Okay, this is not an easy install. So you see, there's my ratchet there. The second bolt sits right there. Right there. So you're going to need a flexible ratchet, and if you can get underneath the car, it'll be much easier to get it than going from the top. That is also a 14 millimeter bolt. You can see on the left right there, that is where that bottom bolt would thread through. But yeah, definitely not the easiest of installs, especially on the 2ZZ and the Gen 7 Celica chassis. There's not a lot of space to work with down here. Ha! Got it out. Same as the other one. It's a washer. I might try and grease it up a little bit, but it's actually pretty clean on the one side. Once I got it loose, what I did, I kind of just took the socket up there. Come on, light. Cooperate with me. There we go. Okay, there we go. I took the socket up there, and once I got it loose, you can see the thread goes right there. I was able to get it out by hand. Put a new one in here. Okay. So when we put it back in, just have to make sure that it lines up with the teeth there. Otherwise, the car's not actually going to start. Okay, starter is in place, so we're gonna plug everything back up and see if she turns over. Okay, moment of truth. Will you start? Well, to find out. And still no start. NANI?! Okay, so problem, and this sheet of paper is a bit of a mess, so you have to excuse me. Wasn't starting, so my buddy Terry and I started troubleshooting. Okay, This is a diagram that he was able to print off of one of the computers we have at the shop. Because we knew the car was getting power, because everything was turning on the inside. It's just we knew power wasn't getting to the starter, okay? And so he suggested going through the fuses. I suggested checking the neutral safety switch on the clutch, or the clutch safety switch, excuse me. Neutral safety switch is for automatic. Manual, it's a clutch safety switch. But anyways, we started brainstorming that way, so he started checking the fuse box under the hood, which I'll get to that in a second. I started checking the fuse box down here, and this was, of course, before he was like, hey, can't we just print this off the computer? And sure enough, here it is. Yeah, let me grab the fuse real quick. Excuse my mess of a car. But, yeah. This right here... Hold on, focus. Focus. Focus! Okay, well, it doesn't want to focus. But this fuse right here was the problem. It's busted on the inside, so I'll pop the hood and I'll try and show you guys where it's at. Okay, pop the hood, took the cover of the fuse box off so I can show you guys. So this is the old fuse here, okay? It's gonna have number 40 on it. It sits right here. This fuse was busted, and because it was busted, there was no connection getting to the starter from the actual circuit to the battery. So here, I'll show you real quick. And this is why it's good to have friends that know cars better than you do. So yeah, shout out to Terry for saying, hey, let's check the fuse box. But here we go. So as you can see, try and start it, nothing. So shut that up for a second. Back out and we go. So let's get that back in there. So here's the new fuse that he had just laying around in his car. He's like, I got one, we'll try it. So pop that bad boy back in there. Let's move this here. So now, when we go to start, trying to start a car without a key, bug. So now when we start it, unlimited power, as you can see. So shut it off. Go ahead and show you where that fuse sits in the box again. Right here, this is the fuse that you're looking for. We also went ahead and changed the starter relay just for the heck of it. So with a new starter relay, new fuse, and a new starter, now the car starts, and I've been driving it for quite a while. So yeah, that's it for this one. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Be sure, I can't speak English apparently. Yada yada does it. Be sure to stay tuned for the next review. My buddy Sammy, we're going to be looking at his modified Solstice GXP. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys take it easy.
That's really an interesting color. I didn't know it was red.